We got to jam out for just a little bit, but I'm back. Are you guys back? Do you have water? Have you taken a break? Stretched your legs after such a long, wonderful run. Oh my gosh, maybe you got in tissues for the end if you're a first timer for that one, like me. Can somebody put in the chat Sable Dragonrook's Twitch for us too? That was such a great run. Make sure we go support her that way. Well, Mort, but her too, I guess. If you're joining us, today is day one of weekend one, SDAT 2023, Speed Docs' annual fundraiser for Save the Children. Save the Children believes that every child deserves a future. They work every day to give children a healthy start in life, to support them and to give them the opportunity to learn protection from harm, especially in cases of war. Since their founding over 100 years ago, they've actually changed the lives of over 1 billion children around the world, and you, part of that. Whether you're sitting there or planking or talking, you're part of that and you're raising money for it. So thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for chatting during her run and keeping us engaged and just working together to have a good old time. I never even introduced myself from the beginning because we were introducing the whole day, but I'm just me, Emily P, and I'm actually going to be handing off to our next host, Lexi.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I'm Lexi. I'm going to be your host for the next run. I will try to fill the shoes that just me, Emily, left because she did great. So hopefully I can be equally as awesome. So thank you. Coming up soon here, we have Paper Mario. So don't go anywhere because it's gonna be cool as heck. I'm super duper excited. So stick around.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
We have to get out of here now. She's right. This place is possessed.
I tell you, what we've witnessed here is a hallucination.
Coffee, Jack. Saw it with your own eyes.
Well, then I
Don't believe my own eyes. Things like this simply don't happen.
Jack, there is something.
There's something
Evil.
evil. Where?
There. Been waiting all this time.
Waiting for what?
For us.
I am a man. I was sick, some say could be dying, and there was an imposter, and some cheap knockoff version.
For us to come here. Promise me something.
Anything.
If we die, don't bury me here.
You're not going to die.
Promise me.
All right. I hope you guys are totally ready for the next run. We're about to start in like 2 seconds. Yeah, sorry, having a little bit of technical difficulties on my end, but yeah. All right, put your hands together and get ready for Paper Mario. Woo!
waxaa u jeclahay jabaatiga way macaan yahay ari waa lahayn ari waxaa baabaysay cimilada kulul iyo abaar dhulka ah anaga markaa saas baa lasoo guurnay awii xanuustay xanuun baa ku dhacay shuun dad ah hooyo ka soo qaaday isbitaalkii keentay caafimaad waaye ilaa waa ka soo caafimaaday way fiican tahay marka la ciyaarayo waa ka qoslisiyaa markastana waa la ciyaaraa waa nin mahad celiya oo ilaashan oo xanuunsan dhakhtarka noo geysan oo noo caafimaadiseen kulliin waa nin mahad celiya
Quiet on the set.
All right, woo! Welcome back, everybody. So what we got rocking right now is Paper Mario with Phantom5800 and their commentator Icebound. I'll let you guys introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Phantom, and with me I have Icebound, who is actually one of the developers of Rando, if you want to jump in here.
Hey you everybody, I'm Icebound, and I've been working together with a few other folks on this randomizer for about 2 years now.
Yeah, so we'll just kind of jump straight in and I'll have Icebound explain how this all works while we get started. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Paper Mario Randomizer. First and foremost, the game in vanilla is actually really linear. So we decided to make the game open world. That means all of the chapters can be visited basically from the start. And each of the chapters is completely disconnected from the progress of other chapters. Usually the goal of a Paper Mario Randomizer seed is to beat all 7 chapters, collecting the star spirits, and making it then to Bowser to defeat the beast. This time, however, we are going to do something that is called limited chapter logic with 4 chapters. That means instead of the usual 7 chapters, we only need 4 of them, and the limited chapter logic part of the setting makes it so that only the chapters we actually have to beat are allowed to have key items we need for progression. So we don't even have to dip 3 of the 7 chapters. Phantom here will make a quick trip up Shooting Star Summit at the very start of the seed, because the mountain summit actually shows us which star spirits we need to save to open the access to chapter 8. Additionally, the base randomizer settings have been tweaked a bit to make the whole seed a bit easier than usual, because due to us only visiting 4 of the 7 chapters, Mario in general is a bit weaker when reaching the final Bowser battle. And just to make it a little bit easier to us, we give ourselves a bit of a head start on a few, for example, items. We do start with the Ultra Stone, which is an item that lets us upgrade partners twice instead of the usual ones. We start with a few minor items, trade-ins. We have the cookbook in our inventory to allow us to make stronger items at Tasty. and we are running a 1.5 experience points multiplier, so we don't run dry until we reach Bowser. The general settings for today are key sanity and shop sanity. That means the keys to the quote-unquote dungeons today can be pretty much anywhere within the 4 dungeons, 4 chapters, excuse me, that are selected for us today. And the shop sanity part means that the shops are also randomized. When a shop has a key item or another type of unique item, then, as you can see here, the shop item just disappears after buying, but all other items can be bought infinitely. Additionally, Phantom opts to start with more coins than is common in randomizer seats, just in case the shop sanity really wants him to buy out all the shops at the very start so he doesn't run dry and has to farm for coins. Yeah, and that's basically it. We are going to face off with 4 of the chapter bosses today. I didn't catch which one we have today. Which are those?
The chapters we have to do are 2, 3, 4, and 6. Also, I just bought a cake mix and then got a cake from the composer, so...
Nice. The go-to person for my cakes, the composer.
Yeah, so I'm just doing what we call Sphere 0, which is the checks that we have access to immediately. I do have Paracarry and Watt. That doesn't give us a whole lot, though. I also don't need star pieces.
Alright, speaking of star pieces in the randomizer as well as in the vanilla game are used to buy items from an NPC called Merlo near Shooting Star Summit. However, usually during Shop Sanity, Merlo is allowed to have progression, and that may necessitate us to collect a certain number of star pieces so we can actually buy those items. But for the sake of speed in the so-called blitz settings we are running today, Phantom opted to have Merlo not have any progression, although the items are randomized and Phantom actually did check the Merlo inventory. Was anything of value there?
Yeah, there was nothing there. He had a couple shooting stars, and that's really the most I could have gotten from him.
Ah, I see. Some other aspects of the settings we are running, even though only 4 of the 7 chapters are needed, some of the areas in the game are considered, oh nice hammer, are considered to be neutral areas that don't belong to any chapter. Those are the starting area in Town, as well as the prologue area Phantom is currently exploring, and the Town tunnels, which are also sometimes called the sewers, which connect several of the chapters via warp pipes.
Yeah, we're almost done here. There's also you'll see, in order to leave prologue, I'm going to be using the homeward shroom. Very, very fast way just to get back to Toad Town, instead of having to walk all the way back here.
Home Shroom is a Rando exclusive edition. Basically, wherever you start your seed, and Toad Town is not the only option, there are other places you can start your seed, either a somewhat random starting location, or you can select from a small number of locations. Whichever place you start your seed in, the Homeward Room will take you to once you use it. It's a key item every seed starts with.
It is worth noting that with these settings, I do have hidden blocks always visible, even though I started with Watt, so it didn't matter either way. But normally, hidden blocks are logically behind having Watt, because otherwise you can't see them. So the randomizer does expect you to be able to see them before hitting them. And I have to fight Blooper. That's fine. I have healing items. I'm good.
So the Super Hammer Phantom picked up in Prologue actually allows us to enter this specific area in the Toad Town sewers and fight this mini-boss, the first of 3 possible bloopers. This specific area has 3 warp pipes that can take us to Prologue, which isn't super interesting because we've been there already, to Chapter 1, which we don't need today, according to the signs on the Shooting Star Summit, and to Chapter 2, so this is probably our logical access, because to get the other way to Chapter 2 we would need Bombette, whom we don't have yet.
Yeah, it's possible Bombette is like in Forever Forest, but that's not worth taking the gamble for a couple checks.
Traveling the Forever Forest is generally very slow at the start, because
Yeah.
it only nets you, I think, up to 5 items and maybe a few more in Boost Mansion.
Yeah, it depends on what you pick up on the way.
Yeah, exactly. So most people tend to put off having to touch the forest at all, and sometimes even just route around it, hoping they find the super boots before, which then lets you access a different warp pipe to Boost Mansion, allowing us to circumvent the entire forest, which is a gamble. You are skipping 3 items in there, but it might be a valuable gamble.
Also something that just came up because I forgot I had this cosmetic setting. The jingles are actually randomized also. So like the end of battle little couple notes that play are I didn't catch exactly what it was though. I think it was like a Bowser sound effect. Bowser's Castle sound effect of some kind.
Yeah, the jingle shuffle is one of the more, I guess, palatable music shuffle options. There's an option to like completely randomly place every single like soundtrack in the game, but some of the tracks don't exactly fit other areas, and some of them are very short and loop quite quickly, so this can be a bit grating. So generally for on-stream stuff we tend to avoid using the full music shuffle.
I have too many items, as typically happens. Luckily the shop code here is always the same, so I don't need to figure out a new code of any kind. And the items are always guaranteed to be here in the same spots. And I can just throw these away.
That doesn't stay that way. I would like to have that randomized at some point, but like as an option, not forcing it on people, of course.
It is also funny if you see other dried shrooms or dusty hammers in there, you can buy... I don't need that. You can buy them in other slots, because it just looks for the item itself, not the position of the item.
A few more things about the randomizer in general. We're seeing like Mario and Watt looking differently than usual. We also have a palette shuffle, which assigns new colors to not only Mario and his partners, but to a whole bunch of NPCs, enemies, and even bosses.
Yeah, I use a setting where none of the palettes will ever be vanilla, so they will always look different. If it's possible, at least. That might be the best damage I'm getting the entire seed, who knows? Worth noting that with limited chapter logic, you don't always get all of the good badges. So with full randomizers, typically a lot of people will go for like Power Rush and Last Stand and a few other things like that, where we just might never see those badges at all. So I will take whatever I can get in terms of that. Double check. I think I might have 3 keys. I do.
Generally with like a full 7 chapter runs, you tend to almost always full clear the seed. Like not entirely, but maybe a handful of checks left. So your badge layout usually is pretty strong by the end. It can vary a bit in viability due to the cost shuffle we use. We do shuffle or randomize slightly the badge point costs and the flower point costs for moves and badges. With a very tiny chance of the value being completely random from 1 to 8, which can make some strong moves really overpowered, and sometimes they are just completely unusable because they are far too expensive.
Yeah, it's always fun when you get like Mega Jump or Mega Smash and it's actually cheap. Just because you don't see it very often.
just dunking on bosses.
Yeah, so mostly right now I'm just clearing the desert. There's a lot of stuff here. It's pretty nice to have early, but I haven't seen really anything here. But this is also the way to get to Mount Rugged backwards, which is really you only would see that in Randomizer. So it's a very unique way to traverse Chapter 2. Mega Bomb at like 2 FP is also very good.
Oh, very nice.
I do have Paracarry, so I might actually go for a pretty early double upgrade on him for air raid if I need to. Just to get some AoE. Or I'll just upgrade Bow. And forget Paracarry exists.
I mean, Bo doesn't exactly help us in the AoE department, but she's... Oh, nice boots. But she doesn't exactly help us... well, she can get rid of a ton of mandatory fights with her spook ability.
Yeah, since I have to go to Chapter 4 especially.
Oh, yeah. The Shy Guys in Chapter 4 tend to have items on progression items quite often, actually. So sometimes they might be pretty strong for our current setup. So spooking them away might cost us some experience points, but can be well worth it in time.
Yeah, so part of we randomize the chapter difficulties also, and Chapter 4, more often than not, feels like it's always very high scaled. And having to deal with Shy Guys that have 11 HP is not really what I want to do at the moment. When I'm still level 1.
Yeah, we do have unfortunate, like, weekly race seeds every now and again that force you into an early Chapter 4 with, like, Chapter 7 scaled Shy Guys. So that can hurt a lot. On topic of shuffling the chapter difficulty, we have a few options for the randomizer to change the difficulty, actually. You can have it completely vanilla, but generally seeds and seed races are done on a chapter difficulty shuffle. And that means basically every quote-unquote chapter difficulty from 1 to 7 is still represented somewhere in the seed, but maybe the first chapter has enemies that are equivalent to a chapter 5 difficulty. However, there's also guarantees that some of the chapters will be easier than others, even if they come later in the chain. Additionally, you can also set the difficulty to progressive, which tries to scale the enemies to your current progress in the seed. But I tend to find this setting a bit harsh, especially early on in the seed, because it ramps up too quickly, so we might need to revisit at some point.
Yeah, so there wasn't much in Chapter 2 other than Bow and Super Boots, which are nice, but not a ton of immediate... not like I can beat a chapter right now. Although, I almost can beat Chapter 4. I just need Bombette. Because I have Train, I have a Cake, I can get in with Bow, I have Watt to fight General Guy with, I just need a way to blow up the wall. So I guess we get to see a lot of stuff in Chapter 4.
You did set up the seed with glitchless logic, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in general, we have a base logic that is completely glitchless, which means it should be easier for beginners to pick up because we don't expect like any advanced knowledge of Paper Mario tricks or even Paper Mario in general, because when glitchless logic, even like puzzles, for example, are not in logic until you can reach the NPC or the item which tells you the solution for this, for the certain puzzle. So in general, it's pretty easy to pick up, I'd say. However, in most seeds you are not barred from using the glitches, like they are not fixed by us. So I assume you are going to go for some convenient glitches, right?
With the chapters I have, there's not a whole lot that'll come up. There'll be like maybe one thing in chapter 3, but that's probably about it. With a quick escape at least. But like chapter 2 is pretty glitchless, and I already have paracarry. Chapter 4, there's really nothing I can do glitch-wise, and chapter 6, I guess it depends on how early I get Lackey versus berries. If we were doing chapter 5, we would be potentially doing whatever we wanted and ignoring logic completely, but chapter 5 is not one of our chapters. Although not needing to do chapter 5 means I'll probably never see Sushi. And not needing to do 1 and 7 means I'll probably never see Cooper. Because those partners are just not needed for other chapters.
Something that's a bit unlucky with the chapters we roll today is we don't have guaranteed Ultra Hammer or Ultra Boots.
That is also true.
So this could be a problem for the endgame, but maybe we will just stumble upon them.
I am going to take this.
We have a question in chat. Are the turn-in items like the calculator not in logic for these settings? That actually depends on where the turn-in NPC is. Most of the turn-in NPCs are located in Toad Town itself, which is considered like a neutral chapter, so to say. So those are in logic and can hold progression for any of the chapters you will have to do the seed. However, there are some special cases in other chapters where turn-ins are not necessary.
I just got my 3rd letter too, and I didn't take the train back, so I didn't destroy the rock. So I'm just gonna hope that paracarry isn't important.
Is this our first orphan check?
Okay, there's dirt here. And chapter 4 is chapter 6. Let's go. And that's why we have Bo.
Luckily, the Shy Guys are in general rather susceptible to getting spooked.
Yeah, of the spook mashes, it's by far not the most difficult. It still can be tough if you don't know how to do the stick mashes, but it's pretty easy compared to some other things that you might spook in a speedrun.
You guys have time for a couple donations?
Yeah, go for it.
Perfect. Alright, our first donation is from Just Me Emily P for $20.23, saying, "To the best SDAT yet." And then we have another $9 anonymous donation that says, "Rank Paper Mario games, and why is it Super Paper Mario?"
Ooh.
I'll do a funny thing here. It's not going to be much faster, but I can skip some backtracking if I want to use paracarry. Unfortunately, I don't have Lackey. I can also use paracarry in this room. This isn't what I was thinking of. Here's a fun trick. What is a wall? Yeah, there's some spots where paracarry and especially Lackluster just don't care about what a wall is, and we get to ignore it. Normally you're supposed to walk all the way to the other side of this room, wait for the Shy Guys to open the door from the other side, but instead you can just do that. I'll do this for fun. It's
Oh, nice.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to be very careful to hold only straight up whenever I'm moving Mario here. If I move to the side at all, this lineup doesn't work. And now we're over here. That's basically with what I have, that just skips some backtracking. There's just a very, very precise position on that wall where if you walk into it, you just kind of clip through it and fall out of bounds. And the paracarry usage there is just to get in the floating point perfect position to clip through that wall. And now we're gonna feed Gourmet Guy from the other side of where he's supposed to be. That clip is a lot easier to do with Lackluster, but like the paracarry method isn't hard. You just can't go left and right on the stick when you're moving with Mario.
I mean, Lackluster in general makes clipping out of bounds in many places really easy.
Yeah, exactly. And next we have Green Station. I don't have the mystery note, which is, I haven't seen it. That is worth logically caring about. Because as Icebound mentioned, the puzzle solutions are not accounted for in logic until you have the tools to discover the solution yourself. But until this puzzle is randomized, I don't care. Muscle memory from years of speedruns.
The thing that's interesting about doing puzzles before you have the intended solution is that the original developers of this game actually anticipated you either like knowing from a previous playthrough or just by happen chance to figure out the solution on your own. And there's actually in some places special dialogue by NPCs that are like, well, how did you know this? Biggest example of this is probably Mustafa in Chapter 2, where you have to do the shop puzzle of buying the specific items. Usually you have to talk to Mustafa disguised and hand him a lemon, because that's his like favorite food. And then he tells you the shop solution, but you don't have to do that. You can just buy the correct items. And then when you climb the houses and talk to Mustafa, instead of being like, yes, you are a very nice person, thanks for gifting me the lemon back then, he's just like, who are you? How did you get up here? Here's my family heirloom.
I don't think I've ever read his English dialogue there without giving him a lemon. Just because I have been playing Japanese or holding the B button down and ignoring all dialogue.
Oh yeah, speaking of dialogue, we actually, for Randomizer, decided to speed up the text. In general, the text mashing in Paper Mario is probably one of the best in like any RPG, besides like maybe skipping cutscenes entirely, because you can just hold the B button and it basically auto mashes for you. I don't know why they removed that in the sequel. Anyway, in Randomizer we actually increased the text speed of holding B even above that, and several cutscenes in the game have been shortened or have been expanded upon by displaying a little press A to skip prompt. And when that shows and you do, then it just fades to black and fast forwards the cutscene basically. It's far from ideal. I think I would like it to be even faster, but that is still a work in progress.
Oh, maybe my entire decision-making process changes now that I have this badge. Nope. Never mind.
Oh, no. Power plus 9.
Speed down pound is probably not even worth it. I actually considered fighting Lantry Ghost just now, and then I have decided not to.
At chapter 6 difficulty.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go back to chapter 2 because we have the Pulse Stone now. And the dictionary and some other stuff. I could go to chapter 3, but I also don't necessarily... I could go to chapter 3.
Perfect timing.
I think I have a Tubba's Castle key that I never marked.
Yes, you picked one up, at the very least.
Yeah. Do I have AoE of any kind with Mario? I don't think so. I did just get Mega Shock. I can use it once. I have FP healing items. This is fine. So I'm gonna opt to not go through the forest. There's two checks that I'll have to backtrack for. Hitbox.
So you're going to do the FP plus?
Yeah, I'll do FP plus, and then I'll leave the seed and the AP plus rooms for later. Also, I hope you saw that ground pound definitely not hit the Koopa. Also, the Dark Koopas with the XP multiplier, like, it's so much.
Yeah, I have no idea why this is a thing. I think during the stand-up animation, they just ignore collision.
Yeah. Good enough. Really sad. That's fine.
Oh, again, on topic of like difficulty in the seeds, the Totown tunnels are actually not considered part of any chapter in terms of enemy difficulty. So the enemy battles in the tunnels are always scaled to their vanilla strength, which makes it a bit easier in terms of making sure you can actually beat them. And they are always a nice fountain of experience points for you when you want to unlock the Chapter 3 pipe. Nice power block.
Yeah, so I'm sorry to anyone that's sad that I ate a big cookie for 5 FP, but I did. Just, it's so much more efficient. Also, making use of battle items early is very good, because your inventory is so small in this game that just getting them out of the inventory instead of throwing them away later when you have to pick up better stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Like, in some scenes you get showered with strong battle items, and some people are just like, I don't want to use those yet, or let me put them into the shop, or sell them. But it's just, you just get too many of those. It is highly recommended that you just throw them at enemies. Maybe
Yeah.
save up a snowman doll if you have to do chapter 5, which makes the lava piranha boss fight really easy. But that is not a thing we have to worry about today.
Yeah, so I'm doing one check in the forest right now. This is mostly just because if I don't do this now, I'm gonna end up having to fight Junior at some point. Very likely. So I would like to not have to fight Chapter 3 Junior. Why did I go right? Whatever.
Yeah, for context, there's this NPC called Junior Trooper who basically just runs at Mario at certain points in the game, simply because I guess he doesn't like us, can't stand us. And you fight him on several occasions, but in Randomizer, most of these times can actually be avoided. The trigger for Chapter 3 Junior, which is the one which would ambush us in this very room, is opening the Super Boots chest in Boo's mansion. So the moment we do that, this room just becomes suboptimal to traverse.
Okay.
Did you catch what the scaling was?
7.
Yikes! Okay, we really don't want to meet Chapter 7 scale Junior.
Yeah. Chapter 6 looks like it's low scaled because the bee had 2 HP. But means very little to me because I don't keep track of what the bee's HP means. Please, Boo. Please, no, come back. Thank you. The visual cue for that is when he crosses that last little line in the tiles. Like right there, you see that line that he's next to? If he's on the left of it, he'll never move back. So I have a choice here. I could go into the library out of logic because I don't have Bombette. And get 2 checks there, or I can go into Gusty Gulch and all the way to Tubba's Castle. I'm probably gonna go to Tubba's Castle though and leave the library. I don't have any other way into the basement either, so we can't see the shop.
Yeah, there's a small handful of places in the game we can't stop you from entering, but then you can no longer leave. And in general, those places are just out of logic until you have the means of leaving again. So, as Phantom mentioned, the library in Boo's mansion can be entered with our super boots, but we can't leave with Bombette, so the checks in there are out of logic currently. They might be worthwhile, we don't know. But we could, I guess, save scum. Just save, check the library, and then reset. If it isn't worth it, but we have to track back here to climb up towards Tubba's Castle anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm only gonna check these 2 crates. And they're not worth it. The green badge there was P down, D up, and unfortunately, for the sake of going fast, doing less damage doesn't really help us. And Goom Nuts are just... Well, okay, a Goom Nut could be useful if we wanted to make life shrooms with Tasty. If we find a source of super shrooms somewhere.
Which, depending on the item drops we get, might be worth considering, because doing like Final Bowser without any backup life shrooms can be a bit scary.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have 1 key. I can do a lot of checks in Tubba's Castle, almost all of them, in fact. There's 1 that needs Bombette, and then there's 2 that need a second Tubba key, but I can do everything else.
Yeah, the final Tubba's Castle key only locks the final boss, and actually no items.
I would like that badge, but I need Cooper.
Who might not show up, who knows?
Yeah. So I also will be holding off on upgrading HP as long as possible, on the off chance that I do stumble across Last Stand and Power Rush, just because those 2 badges are incredibly powerful. But very likely when it comes to when I'm hit go mode, I will probably end up just upgrading HP. Also nice Clova. Because finding Last Stand, Power Rush, and Mega Rush when none of them have any like logical reason to show up is pretty unlikely. Especially if you're hoping. Yeah, especially if you're hoping for other things like Power Bounce. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. In general, going danger, in air quotes, in Paper Mario is considered like one of the best strategies. It basically means you get Mario in a state where he's constantly in danger, quote unquote. So he has 5 HP or less, which makes like a little warning beeping sound and a pop-up show up in battle. And in that state, the Last Stand badge reduces all of your incoming damage by half. The Power Rush badge increases all of our damage by 2. Nice seat. I think this is access to flower fields now, no?
Yep, it is.
And Mega Rush is just the icing on the cake because it increases our damage output even further. However, we have to be at exactly 1 HP for that, which can be scary, but usually Mega Rush, if you find it and it rolls cheap, you just put it on the off chance that a boss hits you into 1 HP, and then you just decimate whatever stands in front of you.
Yeah, so the Bombette check there was a Dizzy Dial, which I obviously don't really care about. I also have I have a red berry and a blueberry for chapter 6. I don't want to upgrade Parakarry too much because his shell shot is expensive, but having access to air raid would be kind of nice at the moment. And I don't want to gamble that I find Bombette in like the next 5 seconds, when I may need to do stuff in chapter 6. Needing to do 6 does mean I will find Lackluster at some point, which is important. Oh, I have Shooting Stars here. That could be a way to fight Bowser. Nice.
Good story. Did you find any of the dip badges?
I have triple dip. It's 6 FP, so it's a bit pricey. But if I want to go that route, it's not unreasonable to make it work. Also visiting our friend here.
This is our friend Rip Cheeto. He sells up us several items in increasing costs. In vanilla, he would take 64 coins for every single item. However, for Randomizer, we thought that was a bit excessive, so we lowered it to 2 coins for the first 2, 4 coins for the next 2, 8 coins for the next 2, and so on, up until 64 coins. And his first 6 checks are usually in logic in most settings. However, you can tweak this if you want.
Yeah, I bought 10 items just to see if he would give me anything good. I did get a repel gel from it, so it's not like terrible. Like, I can't complain about repel gels and live streams ever. I also got Power Smash, which could be potentially a way to fight Bowser, although Power Jump is already 1 FP. I'm on the lookout for badges like that because having, especially without Ultra Boots and without Ultra Hammer, which is entirely possible, I'll never find either, having a way to like deal consistent damage for hopefully pretty cheap makes Bowser tolerable. But Bowser's also not the hardest boss I think we will come across. I actually think the Junior Troopa fight in Chapter 8 is a bit more difficult with these settings, just because of his defense and his first transformation where he is flying with a spike on his head.
Yeah, this heavily limits our options of even hitting him reliably. We would need the spike shield badge, which is not guaranteed to show up anytime. Or a specific part, or some of our partners can also reliably hit him, but having Mario just do nothing is suboptimal.
I also reflexively picked up the scarf. And I used my blueberry there. The blueberry I had was not a replenishable source, so it's not in logic to do. So I just 50-50 between the two places I can use it.
Yeah, using any of the blueberries is completely out of logic until you have a replenishable source. This is actually the case for pretty much any consumable that is tied to progression. You have to get it from a infinitely respawning source, which is a few bushes and trees all over the Mushroom Kingdom, and shops also count towards that. So the moment you see one of the consumables with progression in one of these locations, you can assume that the seed expects you to be able to check that.
Quick Hammer is 2, that's fine. It's 2, but I can't get on 2 damage increasing patches with it. I have a snowman doll I can throw at them also. Oh, Power Smash is actually better than Power Jump here. Pretty significantly. Which is funny. Yeah, Chapter 1 scaled 6 is actually kind of nice, but the mole fights are still going to be slow no matter what.
Yes, the moles are one of the most dreaded item locations, simply because they take long. If the chapter scales high, you are bound to burn resources on them, and in the end you only get one single item, which might just be nothing.
Luckily, Chapter 1 scaled still isn't too bad. Especially with Bow and Watt having very cheap, high damage moves. And cheap, by cheap I mean they cost 0. Between Smack and Electro Dash. Alright, Petunia. Yep.
Typical. But at least it was a quick check this time.
Yeah, it can definitely be a lot worse at high scales. Just trying to fight moles. Okay. Well, I can beat Chapter 2. Not logically, because I don't have 4 ruins keys, but you don't actually need 4 to be able to access the Toot and Koopa room.
Yep, this is another case of the logical implication that the rando seeds expect you to learn of puzzle solutions, because the 4th and final ruins key unlocks a room within the ruins that is supposed to tell you the solution for the for the ruins puzzle. But again, you don't need to visit that room to solve the puzzle itself, so ultimately only 3 of the keys are needed.
Since I got Ultra Boots, I'm gonna skip the cutscene of raising the ruins from the ground. Because I have not placed the pulse stone yet. Ah, hi.
Oh, finding some good stuff right now.
Unfortunately, that's all I can do here at the moment, without Lackluster. I don't know how strong Chapter 2 is, but it's not 7 and 6 scaled, so the worst it can be is 5. And with Ultra Boots, PFD down, and All or Nothing, my jump is doing 10 damage with no other modifiers. So I'm not really too worried about damage at the moment until we get, like, an enemy with defense. Which General Guy is gonna pose issues. So yeah, we have this beeping rock with us, leading us to where the ruins are. And it really wants to go into this pedestal. And to that I say no. Oh, too high.
And we're in.
Yeah, the loading zone is just always there. So if you can get to it somehow, then you can just take it. As long as you can jump up to where it is.
Yep, this is basically trivial once you have the Ultra Boots. Alternatively, you can use Lackluster, if you have him, to jump off of him using a little frame-perfect trick. It sounds worse than it is. It's not that bad to hit.
Yeah.
Which also gives you enough height to get into the loading zone.
I will not be taking the spicy soup from the ruins. That's unfortunate.
The mailbag.
We get to watch a cutscene of moving this staircase. Yeah, I'll do these fights. Yeah, Lackey jumps are technically frame perfect. It's just that the frame perfect input is pressing 2 buttons on the same frame. So it's not a very difficult frame perfect trick.
Oh yeah, I probably made that sound way harder than it actually is. I mean, it can be a bit finicky if you play on emulator or on a non-OEM N64 controller and you have mapped the C buttons to a joystick.
Yeah.
It can take some getting used to, but if you have it mapped to buttons, it's basically free.
Yep. It's pressing C down and C right on the same frame is the important part of it. I mean, this is fine. Pokies have 6 HP. I think that's 4 or 5. It might be 4. I'm not super memorized on my Chapter 2 scales. Mostly because it's Chapter 2 and it rarely matters. Chapter 1 and 2 scales are not super important.
Yeah, those chapters have barely any fights you have to do. Chapter 1, you sometimes have to do the pit battle with 3 consecutive fights, or like the Poke ambush room we are in right now. 3 fights. But other than that, and the boss, of course, it's not too terrible.
We have time for a quick donation?
Yep, go for it.
Cool. We have $20 from Lord Mabias19 saying, "Keep it up, Phantom. Always enjoy watching you stream and get involved for charity events. P.S. Say no to Koopa Bros for me in Chapter 8.
I missed. Oh well, I'll just use Paracarry. You can make this jump, but it is a little tricky. The ruins are actually curved, and you can take advantage of the fact that it's curved to jump across that gap without using Paracarry. And I'm gonna just do this real quick. Save solving the puzzle in this room. I can stay on the chest long enough. There we go. That's a pretty good reward.
Very nice. Yeah, many people don't actually know of that check, even in their vanilla playthroughs. Many people just don't stumble upon this very chest. It is rather hidden. However, the game actually hints at that being a location because there's a map on a wall in one of the rooms here in the ruins, which actually shows the little alcove where the chest is hidden.
Yeah, normally that chest has Slogo, which is a badge that serves basically no purpose. I did actually buy Slogo from Merlo, so I will show you what it does right now for those that don't know. This is now Mario's fastest speed, and I can't spin. That's what it does.
He's zooming. I mean, some people say it might be useful in Chapter 3 to avoid the sleeping clubbers.
Yeah. In one particular room. I could see it being useful. Casually. Although I think casually I always fought all the clubbers just for the experience as a kid.
Oh, totally.
If this works, it's fast. Okay.
Yeah, that mash is terribly difficult.
Yeah, the mash for power shocking Toot and Koopa is actually the same as power shocking Bowser during the hallway fight. So, as you can imagine, very difficult. And not even possible with TAS.
I mean, in general, I find it quite interesting how many bosses in Paper Mario are even susceptible to any status effects, because in most RPGs I feel like bosses just get totally immune to those.
Yeah, on Toot and Koopa, the multiplier is 30%. So, I don't know exactly how that fits into play. Also, Power Shock is just bad. Because Power Shock is weighted to fail. So for something like Dizzy Shell, if you mash the bar, the percentage of the bar that you fill is the chance that it will work. With Power Shock, the percentage of the bar that you fill is not quite how likely it is to work, because there is a bias towards failure. And it is the only stun move in the game that's like that. Dizzy Shell, Mega Shock, even, well, Spook is also like, works the same, where it's just how far you fill the bar is your chances of it working. For some reason, Power Shock is different. And is unfortunately used in speedruns. Because it's cheap.
I mean, I would have understood if both of Watt's stun moves had the same bias, but why does one of them and the other does not?
Yep. So since we beat Chapter 2, we actually unlocked a new check in the desert. This isn't quite vanilla, because Colorado doesn't leave until you've like left the desert entirely. But that definitely would have been a pain in Rando if you had to like leave the desert and then come back after doing more stuff. But this tree normally has a letter, and Colorado's tent is in the way. I'm gonna go to Parakarry. This is the closest I'll ever be to give him his last letter.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I mean, lowering the number of orphan checks in blitz settings usually pays off, I feel like.
Yeah. There's just so weirdly few checks available that skipping stuff is like kind of risky. But it's very high risk with very high reward kind of situation. Where either way, like, your reward is going to be pretty good, I want to go this way. So if he has nothing and I skip this, obviously I save a good chunk of time. But I save more time if I do this and he actually gives me something I need.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be progression for it to be worth. Like any good badge or even like a life room or something different in the same item power class.
Yeah.
Would be totally worth your time.
I don't have shops left to check, but it's better than a super shroom. Also, because I beat a chapter, Ralph has more items to sell. So, Ralph has a few more items, and it's actually pretty easy to refresh his shop in Rando. Although I think those are the new items he has. I will just check anyway.
Yeah, in Vanilla, checking like all of the items he sells is a huge pain because every map that is up to 2 away or the flower gate towards flower fields is individually coded to reset his current badge inventory. And when you return, he will pick a new selection of 3 badges of the ones you have currently unlocked to present to you. In Rando, it is actually deterministic, so you can just talk to him to refresh the shop on the spot. So you can just cycle through his inventory.
So I forgot that I picked up Lackey. Let's go up here first. If I don't find a yellow berry, I will also just not need one because I have Lackluster. Unlikely that I'll see a yellow berry up here, but I do need to do these checks regardless because I do need to destroy the machine.
Lackluster himself is basically the most broken partner in all of Paper Mario. He unlocks so much stuff.
The last few practice seeds I didn't get him. There's Bombette.
Neat.
I hope I don't have to go back to the ruins to use her. Because she does unlock a couple checks there.
I mean, maybe if we find 4th ruins key. Still not ideal.
I'll just kill the Daisy. The Lackey, along with Sushi and Watt, because they're later partners, their base damage actually starts higher than the early partners do. So they do 3 with their basic attack unupgraded. Whereas like Paracarry, Bombette, and Cooper all do 2 damage. And then Bo is special and does 4. But she doesn't help against enemies with defense.
So destroying the Puff machine here is still part of the general chapter progress, even for Rando. Usually you have like this whole ordeal of traversing flower fields back and forth in Vanilla, of gathering the items to grow the beanstalk, meeting the sun atop the sun tower, fighting Lackluster, destroying the Puff machine, and then finally planting the beanstalk. However, in Rando, most of that is optional. You only need to destroy the Puff machine, so we have the sun shining. And then you can already talk to Wise Whisperwood in the center of Flower Fields and plant the beanstalk without having done like anything of the other things.
Anyway. Lackluster. Of course, there's probably unlikely to be stuff here if I don't have the yellow berry, but who knows. And Lackluster.
And this was the quote-unquote frame-perfect Lackey jump. So basically, jump off of Lackey and change partners on the same frame, which gives your jump off of Lackey, the dismounting jump, a tiny bit more height, which can clip through ceilings.
Okay, yeah, so there was nothing here, but we got to show off a couple things that Lackey can do. And now I'll do the things that Lackey's actually meant to do. i.e. The top left path and going to fight Lackluster. Also, that gate is it's one-sided collision, so you just go through.
I think that is also the only flower gate which is one-sided, right?
Yeah. With the other ones, if you lackey teleport through them one way, well, the fact that you can lackey teleport through them at all means they're double-sided, but you have to do it both ways. Oh, hi, B. So since this is low scaled, obviously everything's giving me like basically no experience. Luckily, Lackluster's a mini boss, so I will get a bit more from him. Because boss scales are... Ooh, okay. Well, I needed to come here anyway.
This is a somewhat precise trick jump. You are meant to blow up the rock atop that arch with Bombette, and then a hole opens up. This is, I think, not visible usually, but you can just fall through the ground there.
Yep. Yeah, so we're gonna fight Lackluster, which you have to talk to the sun for him to spawn. Which is nice for just the aspect of like, oh, Lackluster's fight is blocked behind Bombette, so it puts a little bit more logic behind it than just, you can get to this room. I can beat chapter 3. That's probably what I should go do next. I wouldn't mind getting Cooper so I can get D-down jump. That would be nice.
I mean, I think technically you can reach that with Paracarry with a pretty precise lineup.
Yeah, I've never actually done it with Paracarry. But I know, like...
You can also tap jump up the side, but I don't remember the exact location.
Yeah.
It's not too terribly difficult.
That one might be easier, but I've also never done it. Thanks, Lackey. I don't even need that in this seed, even if I... I don't need to go to that room at all, so... I'll do one more check. In chapter 6 while I'm here. Even though I don't have a blueberry.
And here we see one of the other aspects of why Lackluster is one of the most broken partners in the game. Basically, the animation of him running towards you while you are trying to mount him slightly offsets the final position, and that can just clip you through a bajillion walls.
Okay, I'm gonna save real quick. I don't think I've saved this entire run.
Uh-oh.
But we're gonna go beat 3.
Yeah, I think we still have 2 locations we haven't checked in Thomas Castle, and it also unlocks 3 more items in Ralph's shop.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
have to do it anyway, so we might as well do it now.
Yep. While I'm here, though, I can check Boo's Mansion shop, because I do have Bombette. That's another thing that I did not consider until right now. Super Soda. Fire Flower that I don't want. Please stop going forward. Yeah, shops in general are incredibly good check density wise. I will pick that up.
A very niche badge. Shrinkstone.
But, you know what boss is 90% vulnerable to it? Tubba's Heart.
For some reason.
I mean, you could say it's maybe like a Grinch analogy and like you're shrinking his heart. I don't know.
Maybe.
That's the closest I can get. And there is...
Repel dress for sale? Maybe not bad.
Yeah, that's not terrible. And I have money.
Yeah, just buy some and store them. Well, we're swimming in money, jeez.
I wasn't kidding when I said I had money. That's more than I'll ever need. I'm gonna buy that. Just in case I end up using them. I probably won't. Repel gels aren't like as important to me. I'll buy that too. I have
for a quick donation. Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go for it.
Real quick, we have $20 from Illegally Sam saying Paper Mario, and with that, we have reached $700, which is awesome. So thank you guys. If you guys want to donate, exclamation point donate in the chat.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, all I'm doing is going back to Tubba's Castle, where we've already been, so if you have anything else to say in the next, like, couple minutes, it'd be a good time.
If not, I could just touch on a few more possible options in the randomizer.
Go for it.
We mentioned that you can buy stuff with star pieces in from Merlot near Shooting Star Summit. The main source of the star pieces are Quizmo, which is an NPC that can spawn semi-randomly in the towns, which you are usually tasked with like joining his quiz show to win star pieces. However, Rando allows you for one to skip the quiz, so you just talk to him and he's like, here, have a star piece. Or alternatively, if you fancy a challenge, Randomizer actually has rando unique questions from him. And the answer prompts he gives you, even for vanilla questions, are not in vanilla order, so you can't even memorize everything in pure positioning. The star pieces he always gives are not randomized themselves, it's just like the questions he can give. However, there's also the possibility of finding star pieces under hidden panels, which are strewn about the Mushroom Kingdom, and you will usually have to stomp on them using the Super or Ultra Boots, or hammer them with the Ultra Hammer specifically, to flip them and reveal a star piece. Those can also be randomized, so you might have to run around, find progression under the hidden panels. Furthermore, there's also the possibility of randomizing Koopa Koot. Koopa Koot is an NPC in the Koopa Village, who in vanilla gives you a series of, or asks you a series of favors. He asks you for certain consumables, he sends you on errands, and all of these can also be randomized, as well as the reward you can get from Koopa Koot himself. Nice bucket.
Yep. Would have been required if we had to do 7, but oh well. Funny that I actually have most of the things I need for 7. And this is one of the only items in the game that is not randomized. For a lot of reasons, honestly.
I mean, people have been asking for us to shuffle Yaki into the pool.
Yeah. Like, it could be interesting, but at the same time, if you just found Yaki elsewhere, it kind of makes Tubba's Castle just... Why would you ever come here?
Yeah, it just makes the location the worst. Because then you have this very chest locked behind 3 Tabas Castle keys, which also cannot be skipped in any way, which is super feasible. As far as we are aware, the Tabas Castle is the only chapter where you are absolutely required to use all of the keys, save for one specific very, very niche trick to skip one of the keys, which I think is never done in random.
I've never done it. Also, I think that was the first and maybe only instance of no, there will be more. That was the first instance of a rando exclusive cutscene skip. By pressing the A button to skip the Tubba breaking the bridge cutscene. The only ones we'll see otherwise are the ones in Chapter 6. But that was added a while ago now for a few cutscenes, just to be able to skip them with an A button press. You also may notice them in peril, and that was not a mistake. Hopefully this heart fight won't be too bad.
I mean, the hard battle is one of those where you can just abuse danger and peril strats to no end. Simply because basically the game expects you to have bow out for this battle to avoid one of the strong attacks of Tabba's heart. So you are basically invulnerable like every turn, every other turn.
I'm gonna do this because it's funny.
Oh, how cute.
But unfortunately there is a little bit of extra dialogue here if you have bow out. It takes another couple seconds. So I would still die, so I'm going to out of sight anyway. I think if I wasn't in peril, with him shrunken down like this attack only does like 7 or 8 damage. Although Chapter 7 scale, that might still do a ton. Unfortunate. So the heart also, his HP meter is a lie. Because there's the fight. I don't know why they programmed it that way. Instead of just giving him 5 less HP. But he runs away when he's at 5 or less. Even if you bring him down to 0, he just runs away. There's no, like, way to kill the heart. And then we have Tubba.
Awesome. We have a comment in chat saying it sounds annoying to code for the story triggers. Actually, I think by now the custom story progress is no longer what makes up the most of the coding. It used to be that way for many, many months, even after we released the Randomizer website. And I think almost 8 or 9 months of the entire year we spent on the randomizer before public release was spent on working on the story triggers.
Actually, funny enough, right now I literally only need the magical bean. I have everything else. So, I guess I'll just go fight General Guy. The fight's gonna be a little rough. Not too bad. I do a pretty decent amount of damage, but... And Watt is cheap to power shock with for the first couple sets of waves of the fight. I guess the still guys in the shy stack. I do need to do some math. General guy is a math heavy fight.
One of the banes of playing this game fast is doing boss math.
Super jump charge is cheap. That seems good to me. I guess I'm taking off all or nothing to put it on. So my hammer does... Hammer does base 4 plus 1 from PFD down. I need to take off PFD down. Keep all or nothing on. So it does 5 damage. I need a way to do 4 damage. Although, okay. Other option. My boots do 8. That's too much. I could just attack with Watt. Do I have... I can just use a shooting star. I'm not doing math. Basically what I was trying to do was trying to get to 6 damage on the Shy Squad. Because they're... The way that they work is it's 15 Shy Guys that do 1 damage each. And every damage you do to them gets rid of one of the Shy Guys. So I need to get them down to 9 Shy Guys by doing 6 damage so that they can do 9 damage to me and put me in peril. Which is the kind of crux of this entire fight. And I should have, I have enough repel gels. I don't need repel gels necessarily. I have enough FP heals though. That we can do some counting. During the, Shy Stack portion of the fight. I probably should have fought Lantern Ghost. Oh well. I'll just hope that Ralph has the bean.
I mean, using the train is pretty quick if we need to come back.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Easy 6 damage. I forget what I did yesterday. I think I did another like weird method to put them in to get peril here. Like used some other item or something. Oh no, I used Air Raid to do 6 damage.
It's okay. Big AoE for the single Shy, not stack.
Yeah, the squad still guys in Shy Stack. Yeah, so this is where Watt is pretty good, especially with the 1 FP Power Shock. Because Shy Guys are very easy to Power Shock. Okay, so my base damage is 8, which means General Guy takes 6 from it. And we're gonna start doing math with Mario's, not this turn, but the next turn. So if chat wants to count along, feel free to.
One of the challenges of this battle in particular, if it's high scaled, is if you have the power to withstand the first few waves, You still have to account for the 2 defense General Guy has in his tank. Watt can pierce this easily, but it's especially bad for Mario's jump, because it effectively doubles his defense. It subtracts twice the 2 defense from our attack when we are jumping, since we are hitting twice. So the optimal way is usually to, if you have the capabilities of getting into peril during the battle, to do so and then just stun the enemies you can't kill on the same turn. And then prepare for the actual battle against the tank by charging if you have any of the charge badges, or even using Watt's charge up ability, and just going ham on General Guy, hopefully taking a single turn to out him.
I'm currently at 21, by the way. 24. And this is definitely more than enough. So General Guy has 45 HP.
Bye-bye.
And now he has 0. Honestly, I kind of... This is a tough choice. I'll get BP net for now. I'm probably not going to get many more levels. Maybe only 2.
Yeah, sadly our FP plus badges today are a bit more expensive than usual.
Yeah.
So that's not really ideal. Do you intend to go higher than 10 HP? Or do you want to go... well, I guess we haven't found last stand yet. We don't get much more chance. I mean, we still have to find the bean. So maybe.
Yeah,
not.
There's very little chance I'm going to end up finding the last stand power rush combo. But... So the next 2 level ups, I'll probably end up leveling up HP. I don't need a ton of FP. Funnily enough, power jump is not particularly useful because I have all or nothing and PFD down. Although, I don't have a damage dodge, so PFD down is kind of scary. I probably actually won't use PFD down on final with that in mind, which means power jump is the way to go.
We have time for a couple more donations.
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. So we have $15 from Biz saying, I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to break $738 by the end of the day. Good luck, Phantom. And then we have $20 from Huff saying, good luck on the Paper Mario Rando. Here's to hoping you find Goombario. I know how much you love him. And then we have $5 from Goombario saying, hello chat, make sure you tell Phantom how much you love me. So with that, we have broken our day 1 record, and we are sitting at $740 for Save the Children. So thank you everyone that has donated so far.
Yeah, thank you a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
That is very generous. Okay, that was everything from Ralph. Although I did get the melody, so let's go hear a song. Everyone loves Pop Diva. She has such a nice voice that you only ever hear in Randomizer and 100%. Because otherwise, why would you ever do this? Her vanilla item is attack effects D. And I got the weight. But the way that you,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
the way that you normally have to activate her entire quest line is very kind of convoluted, because you have to normally refresh the room after talking to I guess the composer or whatever. He doesn't just give you the lyrics right away, and you have to be in a post chapter 2 state for that to even trigger.
Sadly, the wait now doesn't do anything for us because we already have been to the basement of Boo's mansion, so that is basically nothing for us.
Yeah.
Which means we are still on the hunt for the magical bean.
Luckily, this is a pretty like dense area of checks. We have quite a few things in here to do. 3, 4 checks. Not that I need the repel gel. We may see a super blooper fight if this is not I think we're gonna see a super blooper and lantern ghost fight at this point.
What about Anti-Guy?
Yeah, Anti-Guy 2. Anti-Guy is actually gonna be a lot easier to get rid of. Actually, super blooper, we can do a shrink stomp.
Oh, right. I think that basically trivializes the fight, because as long as he is status in any way, he doesn't charge or spawn babies, if I recall correctly.
Yep. It makes the fight very different. It also messes with his attack cycles, because normally Super Blooper's on a very strict cycle of doing attacks in a scripted order, and stunning him does weird things to it. Although this is Electro Blooper. Oh yeah, no, I didn't do the I never opened the shortcut, whatever.
Oh right, we don't even have the chapter 5 pipe open because we don't need chapter 5 this time.
Yep.
Huh.
So it became a lot more free. Because Electro Blooper is never difficult. Although apparently it does the same thing with by shrinking it.
Yeah. Basically they can't do their special moves while they're status.
So he'll do it this turn, start charging, and then immediately die.
This fight is way easier than most people think, simply because by charging, Super Blooper wastes every other of his turns, and you can get rid of his charged status. Nice life room. By simply damaging Super Blooper, Electro Blooper in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we also have Watt, and since she is a Sparky, she can just hit Electro Blooper without taking the electro damage. But any attack that doesn't do direct contact to the enemy will help in that case.
Yeah, I should have jumped on him with Mario to get into peril. But oh well. I will level up from this fight. Another one of the easiest fights in the game. Because we have Watt.
Being shown as a difficult battle, like, is a chapter 4 usually enemy, and he isn't scaled in Randomizer like ever. He's always in his vanilla state, so that's always 50 HP or his 10 and 11 damage attacks.
Yep.
However, using Rod and just sunlocking him is totally viable. Even though this is pretty easy, if you can mash the stun, it is actually not in logic to defeat or to get the chest guarded by anti-guy by fighting him. There's another way of getting rid of him and getting the chest, and that is by giving him a lemon candy. Oh no. Is this a trek back to chapter 2?
It will be in a second. But we're gonna fight Lantern Ghost first. Lantern Ghost is also very funny with when you fight him with Watt for similar reasons. Obviously, this would never happen in vanilla, so it's kind of weird that he even has this weakness. How much HP does he have at 6 scale? Probably like 45. 50. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting how little work we had to do on enemies in general for the randomizer. Because every single enemy in the game has a full status table, what they are vulnerable against and what they are not vulnerable against. Even enemies that at that point in vanilla you have no way of inflicting said status.
Yep.
And every single enemy is also coded to allow you to use defensive action commands against them. Even the very first fights where you don't even have action commands yet.
Yeah, so Lantern Ghost is, I think it's a 40% susceptible to shock, which is definitely doable to max, but it is difficult.
Sometimes the values used for the status defense tables are also very weird. For example, there's one mini-boss we will not get to see today because he belongs to chapter 5 called Fuzzy Pete. And for some reason, he's the only mini-boss in the game vulnerable to up and away, a star power you can unlock later on, which can one-shot enemies. Oh, of course, there's been... no chapter 2 track. Nice. So I guess that's go mode?
Yep, that's go mode. Just need to fight Huff, which at 1 scale I don't think will be an issue. But yeah, no need to go back to the ruins to use the 4th key, thankfully. There were also 2 Bombette checks there, so there was a little bit more than just 1 check.
I think other than that and a handful of checks in Flower Fields, this was a full clear of the required chapters, right?
Yes. The only thing, like, unless I found Ultra Hammer, there was like one more check I could do in the sewers, and that's pretty much it. Bless skipping this cutscene.
Yeah. Actually, this cutscene of riding up the beanstalk is the only one you can skip in Randomizer, which is slightly bugged. If you paid attention, you might have seen the press A to skip prompt pop up in the bottom right, but the cutscene skip not starting yet. That is not because Phantom missed the timing or wasn't mashing or something. That's actually a bug with the cutscene skip we have to fix at some point.
I don't know how good those were. Not. Okay.
Kind of desperate tier.
Yeah. So since Huff is a fairly complex boss fight, we're going to ignore his complexity by counting.
Yay, Paper Mario math!
So my starting damage is 5, so that was 8, 11. And I kind of want to take a lot of damage on wind, but there's no way I get down to peril. $14. $17. And Huff has 32 HP.
This is such a simple way of dispatching a boss, which actually has quite the complex AI.
Yeah, so like if you damage him on a turn that he can stomp, he will heal. So his turn 1 is always either stomp or heal by inhaling his the rough tufts that he spawns from you doing damage to him. Turn 2 is always wind, and then turn 3 he will do stomp or heal again. Turn 4 he will charge his electricity. And then all of this can still be interrupted if you get him at 5 HP or below, where he has a desperation move that does damage that scales based on the number of rough tufts he has. And I think the max is like 25 or 26 damage he can do. Yeah.
It has a pretty high initial damage and then scales at I think 2 additional damage per rough tuff on screen, which is I think 10 maximum.
Yeah.
So ouch.
Luckily, Huff is one of the bosses that have I mean, every boss has a speedrun strategy that usually involves getting peril and using super jump charge. But Huff especially, because that's right where you get super jump charge. It's the first time in a glitchless speedrun where you would make use of it. And kill him on like turn 3. Turn 4. So, I've beaten 4 chapters. I do have 4 fights left to do, 4.5, if you want to count phase 1 and phase 2 as different fights.
I mean,
That's
in
a
the
sound
dialogue we
effect.
just skipped, it says that we freed all 7 of them, but I guess the other 3 managed on their own.
Yeah, probably.
Are you going to grab the repel gels from the shop?
Yeah, I might as well. I have the inventory space. I also tend to check this shop anyway. And see if there's something there that I want. Because maybe they have a badge up here. That will change everything.
Maybe?
They have Cooper.
Held captive in the sky. Poor turtle.
Unfortunately, they don't have anything I want, so... I have a lot of repel gels in the wallet.
Loaded.
Let's do quick badge checks here. I don't need Shrink Stomp. I will probably use Power Jump on Final and Hallway. I might as well put on Dodge Master. I actually don't need Mega Rush. I'll just put on Power Jump. I'm not... Oh, I have D-Down Pound too. if only I had the Ultra Hammer, that would actually have been good.
Typical blitz settings, badge layout.
Yeah. Power jump is going to be pretty good. I'm going to upgrade my HP up to 20 on what is probably the Dupla Ghosts. Unless they're like Chapter 2 scaled. Since we never went to Chapter 7, we don't know how strong Dupla Ghosts are. But if they're like Chapter 5 scaled, I might be able to level up before Junior. If I don't level up before Junior, I should take off PFD down. Because otherwise...
The final stretch is usually pretty difficult in the blitz settings, mostly because whichever settings you pick for the difficulty shuffle in the randomizer, the final stretch will always be scaled to Chapter 8.
Right. The exception being Dupla Ghosts, who are at Chapter 7 scale. Whatever Chapter 7 scale is.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what they have. 10 HP. I think that's 5.
Yeah, it has to be, I think.
Which is kind of convenient, because I would like the level before Junior. Typical.
Not enough.
Alright, so I'll have to take off PFD down, which is fine. If there was only one more Dupla Ghost, it would have been perfect. So PFD down comes off. Spike Shield is 6. That is annoying. I had HP plus. These sound effects.
Say no.
Oh, right. No. What?
Who are you guys? We haven't seen you.
Yeah, I've never seen these turtles in my life.
And who's that?
I don't know. You just kind of showed up. I wanted to chill out, not Starbeam. Oh well. I'll just use out of sight.
Get beamed on.
It dinged. That's crazy. Shoutouts to Adam, starbeaming Dupla Ghosts instead of up and away in a race.
One interesting detail about the Starbeam many people don't realize is after you have unlocked it in Starhaven, you can actually use it in normal battles. It doesn't only work against Bowser. You might be wondering, okay, so why would I want to do that? Because in the Bowser battles it's used to get rid of his Star Shield. Otherwise you, in the first battle, can barely hurt him or not hurt him at all in the final battle. But the Starbeam itself actually removes buffs from enemies. So if you have an enemy that is like jacked up with the help of like Magic Coopers, even maybe turned invisible, you can just remove this with the Starbeam. Really niche and rarely used, even in Rando.
Typical.
Oh no, whatever will we do?
It's a mystery.
Tons of items.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice.
I'll probably refresh and try and Power Shock again. I know we haven't pointed it out, but these star spirits are the ones that we actually saved in the order, not the ones that would normally use those powers. Which is a nice little detail.
Yeah, sadly we cannot yet shuffle the order you get the star powers in, so whichever star spirit you save first will always unlock the focus and the refresh ability. But to make this a bit more interesting, we decided to just swap out the sprites depending on the order you unlock the spirits in. You can, however, start a seed with having already a bit of star power, without having saved any of the star spirits. And when you use the star powers then a Twink, the star kid that accompanies Peach, shows up and uses the ability instead.
So I have 25 HP at the moment. Hi, Jade Raven. For fun, we have a little bit of time. Let's check Peach's castle a little bit. There's only a few things here. This is normally Last Stand, and it's a lot worse than Last Stand. Okay, I will level on Hallway Bowser also. With these settings, he gives you around 60 star points. So I'll be able to get up to like 30 HP. I have no real desire to upgrade my FP because everything is so cheap. And my BP, I don't really have any badges to equip, so...
Yeah, in Blitz settings, you usually just don't have to make do.
Sometimes if something's really expensive, then FP is going to be pretty valuable, but because Power Jump is only 1, I can just use it. And 10 is more than enough uses of it. Although, okay. Math real quick. He has defense, so Power Jump is doing 1 more damage than Jump times 2 would do. Power Jump actually doesn't scale very well with damage increasing badges, because the normal jump action command scales by 2 for every 1 damage increasing badge you give it, whereas Power Jump scales by 1. Since Power Jump is normally your jump times 2 plus 2 extra damage, after 2 damage increasing badges against an enemy with 0 defense, it's the same as if you had just done a normal jump.
Yeah, due to the nature how the damage increasing badges work in Paper Mario and TTYD, generally jumping normally is strictly better than using the hammer, except for some niche situations, enemies or badge layouts.
Yeah. Bowser healed, that's fine. He can only do it once in the hallway fight. If he does fire, I get peril. Or he can shield. I didn't mean to click refresh. Whatever. He can't kill me. Also, English-Japanese difference right there. Watt did 1 damage to Bowser because we're on the English version of the game. On the Japanese version of the game, Watt would actually do 0 damage because he has more defense with the Star Shield up. But when they released it in the US, they nerfed his damage, or his defense in this fight with Star Shield. Let's go, Peril. Woo! Now he's really dead.
It is such a random change.
Because you think he's invincible. Like, that's the logical assumption to make, is he's invincible there. But it turns out he isn't. He just has 4 defense with the Star Shield. 4 unpierceable defense. So that's why Watt didn't do 5 damage. Now, I should be more than fine, but I'll save before Final Bowser anyway. I have so many repel gels that even if it takes a slower fight, I probably can't lose. So 8 damage with Power Jump, 5 with Watt, that's 13 damage a turn. That's really not bad.
Oh, welcome Mario to the maths test.
Bowser has 99 HP. Bowser can heal in phase 2 of the final Bowser fight if the percentage of Bowser's HP is 25 less than the percentage of Mario's HP. So if Mario is at like 15 out of 30 HP, that's 25%, which means that Bowser can, or 50%, that means Bowser can heal at 25% of his HP. And he's basically 100, so we kind of just round. So we say that if Mario's at half HP, Bowser can heal at around 25. And math.
Everyone got that? That's gonna be on the test. Yeah, luckily in the randomizer resources as well as in the speedrunning resources, we have spreadsheets where you can just check Bowser's HP, your max HP, and your current HP, as well as Bowser's current HP to calculate when he's going to heal and at what chances. So it gets manageable, or you're just speedrunning enough to do this stuff in your head.
Yep. Time will be coming up at the end of phase 2 when the Star Rod touches Mario's hands. After the fade out from the fight. This fight is going to take a little bit, probably, I would say a couple minutes if everything goes well. At 30 HP, it's pretty unlikely to ever have to deal with Bowser's healing. Just because of the math that we just went over. So after using a life shroom, I'll be at 10 HP, which is 33%. So Bowser would have to be below 8 HP to ever heal in that kind of situation. And double checking, I have 3 life shrooms. So I will definitely be burning life shrooms over using repel gels, just to get more turns in with Mario.
Yeah, with your current setup, this fight can basically not be lost. The only thing Bowser can do is try and stall a bit by doing early shields.
Yeah. Bowser has a 25% chance to use the Star Shield on the 3rd action, but a 75% chance to do it on turn 4. So it's very likely he'll just do it on turn 4, which is next turn. I just need to watch his HP a little bit. He's still well above 8, so. Should shield, yep. Pretty standard Bowser. If he shields on a later turn, it's incredibly rare. Obviously 25% of the time he'll shield on the next turn, because it's 75% every turn after the 3rd that he doesn't use the shield. So I should eat a life shroom here. Oh, lightning. Block it for swag.
This is pretty difficult to block for newbies because it has basically an off-screen tell.
You can actually look at Bowser's feet during that and see when the beam crosses his toes. That's the cue that a lot of people use.
That is some advanced telling. Never thought of that. Wow. To dodge the lighting, look at his feet.
Yep. So he's at what? 11 HP? So time is coming up after I kill him.
Yep. After the kill, we have a short cutscene where the Star Rod bounces into our hands, and
Yep.
the moment we hold up the Star Rod, it is time. GG.
Woo. And time. And that's a Paper Mario randomizer with blitz settings.
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Woo! GG's, good job. That was awesome. I've never seen a Paper Mario randomizer before, so that was actually like super intriguing for being like my first time watching. Do you guys want to give a quick shout out to who you are, where they can find you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Phantom5800 on Twitch. There's YouTube VODs uploaded multiple times a week of just randomizers mostly between this and other games. And also, shoutouts to Icebound. I have been trying to get him on something like this for a while.
Yeah, pretty difficult with our scheduling.
Yeah.
I'm Icebound777. You can also find me on Twitch, but I generally don't stream. But you're free to meet us on the Randomizer Discord, which can be found on the website, and just say hi. We are a friendly bunch.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, and good luck to the rest of the runs for the day.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. I really enjoyed that. It was actually super interesting. So anyway, everyone, stick around. There's more to come. And we will be back.